नमस्कार। आप सभी का हार्दिक स्वागत। We would like to welcome you all on behalf of Independent Research Ethics Society, AYUSH Samriddhi International Webinar Series at milestone of 2676. Habitual National Forest Materials Day, ये एक्चुअली 11 सितंबर को मनाया जाता है, लेकिन कंटिन्यूअस यात्राओं के कारण पहले उदयपुर से चित्तौड़, चित्तौड़ से उदयपुर, उदयपुर से नाथद्वारा, नाथद्वारा से उदयपुर, उदयपुर से फिर दिल्ली, दिल्ली से सोनीपत, सोनीपत से दिल्ली और फिर दिल्ली से कलकत्ता। इतनी एक लंबी यात्राओं का चूंकि सीक्वेंस आ रहा है, तो मैं एक ही एक शेड्यूल में रखा हूँ वेबिनार। अभी 15 तारीख तक जानता नहीं मैं तो कर पाऊंगा कि नहीं, कहाँ यात्रा में रहूंगा। फिर भी 14 तारीख तक एक वेबिनार डेली हम लोग करेंगे। तो उसी विषय में आज हम फॉरेस्ट के बारे में सुनना चाहते हैं हमारे दो ऐसे ज्ञानी वक्ताओं से, जो जब बोलना शुरू करते हैं तो सरस्वती उनके मुंह से बोलती है। मैं डॉक्टर सुपर्णा सान्याल मुखर्जी मैडम का बहुत बहुत अभिनंदन करता हूं और डॉक्टर शरत कुमार बसु जी का बहुत बहुत अभिनंदन करता हूं कि वो हमें बहुत आशीर्वाद देते हैं। मैं उनके कृतज्ञता हृदय से ज्ञापित करता हूं और आदरणीय डॉक्टर सुपर्णा सान्याल मुखर्जी मैडम को सादर आमंत्रित करता हूं बोलपुर से उनके आशीर्वाद।
Thank you very much. Very good evening to the all dignitaries over here. Though I am not at Bolpur yet, I am at Andaman, the middle island. I am here. So today is a very good day and beautiful day, which I have witnessed the total environmental factors, especially the forest-based areas of Andaman Islands, especially the Neil Islands. Here, all other reserve forest. So why the forest and what is the forest categorized and how is forest is needed for us? Basically, forest conservation and forest protection is the practice of planting and maintaining forested areas for the benefit and sustainability of future generation. So future generation is depending upon the forest because earlier generation we have seen that people those who are living in the deep inside the forest streams and the forest areas, especially the covered forest or the areas of village forest, they were uh, residing and they are practicing their livelihood sustenance through generations. The conservation of forest also stands and aims at a quick shift in the composition of trees, especially the species and age distribution. And this forest canopy has the age and rights over the environmental factor and environmental protection. Forest conservation involves the upkeep of the natural resources, especially within a forest, that are the beneficial to both for human and the environment. The environment is depending upon the human, and in same way, the subsequently human beings are depending upon the environment. Forests are vital for human life because they provide a diverse range of resources. They store the carbon and act as the carbon sink, and it is the produce oxygen which is vital for the existence of life on the earth. So the forest is giving us a rightly called the earth lung because the oxygenation what we are getting from the forest is this oxygenation is produced from the by the forest, so we can consider, especially the human life can consider forest as their lung. And the same time, we can see that the hydrological cycles, especially the planetary climate system, purify water, provide wildlife habitat, especially the 50% of the Earth's biodiversity occurs in the forest and reduce the global warming, absorb toxic gases and noises, reduce pollution, conserve soil, mitigate natural hazards such as floods and landslides, and the several natural calamities can protected by the forest. But nowadays, the forest cover is depending rapidly due to the many reasons such as the expansion of the agriculture, the timber production and timber plantation, other land uses. At the same time, the pulp and paper plantation, urbanization, construction of the roads, industries constitutes the biggest and severe threat to the forest, causing serious environmental damage. And we are observing and we are seeing that there are several types of diseases which are occurring, especially those who are living in the urban life. So hence we can say that there is need of public awareness, and this public awareness can generate the forest conservation for and it which can help to deterioration of the forest, and forest is needed for us. And today I have witnessed, and a few days I'm staying over here and I'm witnessing that the forest, the dense forest, which is the dense forest, how the dense forest is protected. Because these people are no way suffering from any kind of diseases. There is no such kind of hospitals, nothing, health center, whatever. So I have asked and taken data from this person. So what is your medicine? Which type of disease you are suffering from? They said, last 10 years I am not even a single day. The people are suffering from any kind of viral fever and whatsoever. So this is they are very close to the nature, and this nature is giving the enormous potentiality and sustainability uh, in this earth, and they are sustaining with this free oxygen, and below pollution level. So that's why forest conservation is very important for any kind of forest, so whether it may be the deciduous forest, deciduous forest, temporal forest, the mangrove forest, swamp forest, whatever, the littoral forest, whatever, wherever we can go, the forest is needed, and forest canopy is very important. And one more thing is very likely to say that the trees which are so big trees are here, and the trees also the canopy development, because they protect the landslides, and those the forest and the trees are also holding the land and the sands by which the civilization is developing. And here it is also following that the civilization uh, houses they are making, because this is the sand area, the sand is there, but these trees are holding the land and they are restoring the landslides, and that's why the forest is needed. And several types of the sea areas plants are developing, and they are surviving in these areas, and the people are depending upon these trees, and their socio-economic life, socio-cultural life is depending upon that. And moreover, it is very important for that these trees are excellent for their life sustainability, because they are based on these trees, because they have the several types of bagicha, like they are also planting, they are restoring the cashew, coconuts. So many types of medicinal plants are also there. They are producing such. And the Ayush, which is a very important part, I have to point it out over here. Ayush are exploring, and I was thinking that I should say Ayush is exploring in case of the urbanized areas, mainly the partly the suburb, the rural part of this Indian portion. But here it is in this Indian territory. There are plenty of medicinal plants are surviving, and there is no exploration, and there is no such research is pursuing in this area, because biodiversity and medicinal plants are very important for that, because those tribes, those who are surviving over here, not only the tribes, the people, the general people, those who are surviving over there, they are also depending upon these medicinal plants. That's why and they are not suffering from any kinds of diseases. So exploration and identification of medicinal plants and to collect the medicinal plants and make it use in the urbanized sector, it is very important part. And if we can make a laboratory, tree planting laboratory, at the same way the tree planting farm, so this medicinal farm, it will be very helpful for the people at large. So I also have a very wide area for the research, development, sustainability, protection, and to reach the Sustainable Development Goal 17, the Ayush can enrich, the Ayush Samriddhi can be enriched by this medicinal plantation. So thank you very much for giving me such an opportunity. I'm so grateful and thankful very much. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Suparna. Thank you very much. You have rightly told that Ayurveda is now focused in only urbanized area. In addition to this, I would like to communicate either in urban area or definitely in that particularly remote areas where medical facilities are not available, they are forcefully focused on Ayurveda. They are forcefully focused on Ayurveda, no doubt. Thank you, really. Salute to you, salute to you. Have you
Thank you.
returned from Andaman Nicobar?
No, no, no. I'm still over here. I'll be returning on 15th.
Oh, I am coming on 19th night in Calcutta.
Sir, Basuji, I hope he contacted with you and we will have a discussion
एक
regarding the
मीटिंग
matters.
रखेंगे, जरूर रखेंगे, बहुत काम है इसमें.
Okay, okay, sir. सो एक साथ
Please.
काम करेंगे तो बहुत अच्छा होगा क्योंकि आयुष का बहुत ही जरूरत है सर.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
थैंक यू वेरी मच सर. थैंक यू.
शेखर जी नमस्कार.
Namaskar. Namaskar. Thank you so much. Once again, it's a pleasure to be on this platform. And I would like to request everyone to extend our heartiest congratulations to Professor Suparna Mukherjee because her documentary on Dongria Kund received the Best Documentary Award today at the prestigious Jadavpur University on the International Film Festival 2024. So, heartiest congratulations, madam, for this great accolade and your great work on the tribal communities of Dongria Kund from Western Odisha. So, it's greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I would like to highlight like why forest conservation is now more important is if you look into our life, you'd see that the plants has been escaping our urban campus at a very rapid rate. Even in the rural areas, other than agriculture, our green plant coverage has been disappearing fast. Although the forest report for the government of India does indicate that there has been a marginal increase in forest areas in highly densely populated cities due to social forestry or conversion of unused lands into greenery areas. However, compared to the huge amount of forest losses that we are still observing in many parts of India, it is alarming, and I sincerely believe that the government and non-government organizations in this arena needs to work very, very tight and cooperatively in looking towards protecting the forest. Now, why is forest important? As you would know, that there has been a recent debate about the increase in the number of tigers across the country and other wildlife, whether it's lions or whether it's leopards, elephants, everything, even rhinoceros. So all the major animals here has been showing a quite significant increase in their number. The number of poaching and related crimes on the wildlife has not vanished, but due to strong conservation practices, due to strong implementation of the Forest Act in that particular extent, and the surveillance and monitoring has been extensively better, we have achieved in India at least a bigger concern in a bigger accolade in having successful conservation of many big animals, which are flagship species. And if these species we are capable of securing properly, then we are at the stage of protecting them from future damages. However, the important question is, as the numbers of tigers are increasing, as the number of elephants are increasing and the lions are increasing, there are increasing reports coming pouring in from the country where there is an infiltration of wildlife into the populated areas, whether it is village, whether it is municipalities, or sometimes venturing into towns and cities. Now, why is this happening? This is happening because our wildlife laws and our wildlife conservation has successfully increased, and we have been successfully able to execute that, but we have been failing to protect the forested areas. As a consequences, as the number of these animals are increasing, we are putting enormous pressure on their habitat, in the sense that a tiger needs a considerable large area for it to thrive, for it to hunt and survive as a key predator, and also to raise families by interacting with the females of these species. And so they need space. Now we are running out of space. This is the new challenge that our conservation is having, is while we are having increase of these animals, we do not have enough forest habitat to provide them the enough secured homeland that they need for them to thrive for the future generations. And these destruction of forest has now been to many extent where the corporate houses are being getting involved. Recently in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, there has been a huge hue and cry over the state governments, where the state governments have been transferring part of the forests, particularly in an adjacent to city areas, for economic development by developing factories, by developing modern park areas and stuff, by handing over premier parklands or premier forest lands to many multinational companies. They have been indiscriminately destroying the forested areas, building infrastructure without any environmental impact assessment, building corridors where there should not be any corridor, building railway infrastructures and roadways through dense forested areas, or even in very adjacent to virgin forest areas, which will have significant impacts down the line on our wildlife, biodiversity, and the quality of the forests. With the loss of bees that we are seeing around the world, including India, pollination has become a very significant issue even in the forest. And due to climate change and as a consequence of inadequate rainfall in some areas and overall downpouring in other areas, the imbalance in the climate is causing havoc with our forest. While some part of the forests are not receiving any water, irrigation, or moisture for them to sustain, while the other ones are getting flooded with extensive water, causing extensive damages from the long time perspective. So these are important factors that needs checks and balances for protection in the coming days. The population of the country has increased significantly, whether it's rural, urban, even in the rural areas, people living inside the forest, in the forest fringe areas, tribal communities that live deep inside the forest, many times who are extensively dependent on the forest, their rights are being overstretched because of the people outside the forested areas. Their access to the forest is becoming more important because of our economic reasons rather than the right of the people who has lived on this forest for successive generation, for hundreds and thousands of years. This is very important, as because our forest resources provide not only timber, they are also a host of minor forest products such as medicinal plants, as we use in Ayurveda and various other industries, as well as medicinal mushrooms, various plant parts used for industrial usage in agricultural part, as well as for our promotion of tourism, and last but not the least, for leaving the tranquility of the ecosystem secured. This has been changing very significantly. There has been, I strongly oppose, particularly, there has been a proposal to the government of India in converting the Nicobar Islands, particularly into industrial hubs. Now, whether this has been implemented or whether this is already underway is not very clear, but it is quite strange that even the citizens of this country, bona fide citizens of mainland India, are not being allowed to visit the Nicobar Islands anymore. The government is putting stricter and stricter restrictions for the cause that they are providing refuge to the ethnic tribal groups there to provide them protection, which is very good for the military, our military installation, naval installation, air force installation. But I simply do not agree that this is so much that the ordinary people of India could not visit the entire Nicobar Islands, at least to the Car Nicobar at all, which was even 10, 15 years back was easily and openly accessible. Now, I do not know what the government is doing there, but if there are industrial developments going on in such sensitive ecosystems and the huge number of rare medicinal plants and other ecosystem storing species that are present in the Nicobar areas, they have a high rate of endemism, which means the plants and animals, the birds, butterflies, bees, snakes, things that are found in Nicobar are not found anywhere else in this world. They're exclusive. And these exclusive forests need to be protected. By blocking people from reaching out to this area is giving me a strong feeling that something wrong is going on. There has been sayings that very big parts of these are being handed out to various industrialist groups like the Adanis for creating new ports and other infrastructure, while the people are being kept in the dark. So there is very much importance that the government of India needs to come out clear and provide what the plans are for the Nicobar Island, what is going on. We need photographs, aerial photographs, as well as satellite pictures over Nicobar Island to see whether the government is actually transforming in the entire ecosystem as it is happening in the other parts of India is very important. Forest needs hundreds of years to regenerate. A simple piece of log or a dead tree that falls in the forest takes almost 500 years for getting converted into soil or premier quality soil. The natural biological process and the geological process is that slow. And if we are wreaking havoc with the forest, destroying them, there will be very much little left for our next generations to thrive upon. And without the forest, our ecosystem cannot thrive. If our ecosystem cannot sustain, then our agriculture will be impacted. And if our agriculture is impacted, then both the environment, economy, and the quality of our life is going to be impacted. So it is high time that the government as well as the people of the country understand the importance of the forest. The forests are just not important for tribal people, rural areas, or people who live in the fringe areas or are forest residents. Forests are natural resources for the entire nation, for the ecological as well as economic security and guarantee for the nation. These are invaluable, irreplaceable natural resources that needs to be protected and used judicially. If these are being handed over to industrial houses for conversion of forest into industrial areas or for the purpose of industrial agriculture, we are stepping towards very serious disasters in the coming days. So with this warning, I would request everyone that everyone create the awareness and write to the government so that the government is pushed to take the same measures that they have taken in protecting wildlife, that the extensive nature of the forest needs to be provided and the areas need to be protected. We need to convert many areas into forested areas to reach that 25% of total forested areas of a country, which is considered to be the basic minimal forested areas for the ecological health or the long-term ecological health of the sustainable development goals, as Madam has very nicely mentioned, necessary for that. Her documentary has been highlighting upon this plight of the forest and the forest people. In her documentary, Madam has very beautifully illustrated how Dongriakod people from Western Odisha stopped the aggression of Vedanta, and multinational company was trying to explore and set up aluminium mines across the Niyamgiri Hills in Western Odisha. But this is an extremely fragile, sensitive ecosystem that is inhabited for thousands of generations by Dongria Kond and other related tribes in that particular area. These tribes, through their passive resistance, for the first time in the history of the world, was able to prevent a multinational company and a government, the local government of Odisha, in preventing and protecting the forest from ruthless destruction, exploitation. The Supreme Court of India, at that point of time, saluted their decision of not allowing Vedanta to set up aluminium mines. If uneducated, marginalized people such as the Dongria tribes, as depicted in Madam's documentary, are capable enough in protecting our forest, what were we doing as educated citizens of the country, not taking steps, not pushing the government, not raising questions regarding our rapid loss of forests? With this, I conclude my presentation. Thank you so much, Professor Sharma, for giving me this opportunity. Once again, Madam, heartiest congratulations for your grand success today, for being awarded the best documentary. And I continue to support the AYUSH platform. Thank you very much. We'll be present again in your future programs. Thanks to all the viewers and the participants. Thanks to Professor Sharma.
थैंक यू वेरी मच। बहुत ही शानदार। आप जब बोलते हो तो बड़ा मतलब एक ऐसे सुंदर फ्लो में बोलते हो ना कि आनंद आए। मैं इस विषय में सुतपा जी कुछ बोलेंगी क्या? आदरणीय सुतपा जी भी हमारे साथ है। स्वागत है,
No, no,
स्वागत।
thank you so much once again, Sharma ji, for giving me this opportunity always. But today I think I'll not be in a position to say something. But as always, I'm always overwhelmed from what our previous speakers said. And once again, thank you very much for arranging the seminars and giving us opportunity to learn and also express ourselves. I'm extremely apologetic. I am not so well versed, and neither am I, totally prepared to highlight anything today. But nevertheless, thank you for giving me this importance. Have a nice day to all of you, and thank you, speakers.
थैंक यू, थैंक यू। आदरणीय डॉक्टर सीपी शर्मा सर तक मेरी आवाज जा रही है? मैं उनसे कंक्लूडिंग रिमार्क की प्रार्थना करता हूँ। आदरणीय डॉक्टर सीपी शर्मा सर, स्वागत है आपका। थैंक यू। गुड नाइट टू ऑल।